Hi everyone, Savannah here, and welcome to a Patreon exclusive video. Everything you need is listed on the Patreon post. You can also grab the information down in the description below, but let's jump in. As always, we're going to change that background color. So go into layers, click background, and we're going to pick this darker blue color. Now it will be a little bit hard to see as we're coloring in, but we will add colors on top of this. Add a new layer, grab that magenta pink color, and we're going to do circle blend brush. We're going to work on the background a little bit at the beginning here. Usually I do this towards the end, but since it's so hard to see, we're going to add some color to the background just to lighten it up a little bit and just start adding this purple color. You don't have to be clean with this yet. We'll blend it out. Just add it where you want the kind of stars to be. So we're going to add orange here. We're going to add purple here just to brighten it up a little bit. And I'm going to pull in some lighter blue as well. I want to lighten this up quite a bit because I am going to add stars around this area. So I want it to be bright and celestial. So that's why I'm adding a lot of lighter colors. And then I'm going to use the square blend brush. I'm going to start blending out these colors across each other. And as you're blending, you'll see there are in between colors between the two colors you're blending out. And so if you want to pick that color up and blend them out more seamlessly, just hold your finger down on the iPad, wait for that color picker to grab that color, and then you can start using that to blend out these colors even more. And you don't have to really blend behind the bunny. I did a little bit, but we're going to color the bunny in. You won't see that. That is not blended out perfectly, so don't spend too much time on areas that are behind the bunny. Now we're going to grab that yellow color and we're going to use some of these other brushes in my pack. So I have these kind of dots brush that I have. It's kind of like a stamp. So go ahead and click that. Change the size of it. All the stars are going to be different. So if you just tap on the screen, it's going to place these dots everywhere. And so add some variation. You can even do different color variation if you want to. I did this on the background layer, but I'm going to do a new layer with a few more, and I'm going to change the brightness of them to make them pop a little bit more. And this is also a pressure sensitive brush, so the lighter you press, you can see the lighter the color is. The harder you press, the more color will be there. Now to change this, I'm going to change it to one of these other filters. So you click the N and just try a couple different things. There's soft light, there's overlay, vivid light. I kind of like some of these, like the vivid light pulls in a little bit more orange colors. It pulls in more um, variations than just yellow. And then if you want to do Gaussian blur, you can. I decided not to do that for this, but that's what it looks like if you did Gaussian. And I turned down the opacity a little bit as well. Now we're going to do the bottom part here, kind of like the moon. Make a new layer, grab that kind of mid-tone blue, and we're going to do the square brush and just start adding in some of that color at the bottom here. And now go ahead and alpha lock that layer, and we're going to add some of that blue green and that lighter blue color to the top here. We're still using the square brush. We will switch over to that square blend brush here in a second, but just start building up the colors here that you want to use and start blending them out. Go ahead and create a new layer. We're going to work on the donuts here. So we're going to grab that dark reddish orange color and start outlining with that circle brush the donuts that are floating around that this bunny is trying to catch. Now that we have the general shape, I'm going to go in and clean up my lines a little bit. So that's why I turned that outline layer off for a second. Once I have the shape that I like, I'm going to alpha lock these donuts and add some light color. So I'm using that circle blend brush. I grabbed a lighter yellowish orange color and I'm going to add some highlights to these donuts. And now just add some lighter yellow highlights here and there throughout the donuts. We'll blend these out as we go along. Now I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the shape of the donuts here a little bit with that mid-tone color and blend out that yellow a little bit more. Now I do want to add a little bit darker color, so I'm going to select that darker brown, go to the disc, make it even darker, and just add a little bit more darkness here in the shadow area of the donuts. Now we're going to do the bunny, so we're going to add a new layer. Make sure you're on that circle brush, and we'll start filling out the outline of this bunny. For this, I'm actually going to use that lighter blue color in that row just to start filling out the shape, and then we'll add those highlights and lowlights once we get the general shape filled. Now let's go ahead and alpha lock and start adding some highlights and lowlights. Grab that mid-tone blue color and we're going to start adding some shadows. We'll go darker as we go further left on his suit, but we'll add some mid-tones first and then work our way to the darker shades. And now we'll go in with that very dark color and add even more shadow here. We'll blend everything out in the end. Now switch over to that circle blend brush and we're going to start blending colors out. I'm just picking colors up again from this area, so I'm using that lighter color to blend out, and then I'll pick some of those blended colors in between just to blend it out even more. You can do the dark colors, any colors that you want to pull in to blend in this section you can do. I'm just kind of picking from the actual picture itself because it's going to be blended a little bit better when I pick those in between colors. One thing I'm doing is just blending this arm out a little bit. I don't like how stark it goes from this darker color to the lighter color, so I'm going to try to blend this out a little bit here with that kind of almost dark blue color, but not quite as dark as the darkest color we have here, so I'm just blending this arm in. And now I'm just taking that very dark color just to outline these kind of like pockets on the back of the backpack so that they're shown here. So just kind of still using that circle blend brush to add a little bit of definition. Now we're going to select that light color, that light grayish color, and just add a few highlights here again. There's kind of like a glow to the top right here, so I'm just adding a little bit of lightness here just to show that there's a little bit of reflectiveness on the suit. And then I'm using that very dark color to add shoes here. So just doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit of shoes there, and then adding more of that glow on top of the foot to the right. And I'm just adding a little bit of an edge here to the helmet, just so it looks like there's, again, a little bit of an edge. So I'm using that dark color here to do that. And then we'll add a little bit of that glow to the edge here. Now let's go ahead and work on the bunny's ears and face. So we're going to click into layers, add a new layer underneath the astronaut suit for this bunny. And we're going to start with this reddish orange color first. Grab that circle brush and start outlining the shape of the bunny's head. And now go ahead and grab the somewhat bluish color there. We're going to grab that circle blend brush and we're going to use this blue as the shadow here on the left side of the bunny's head. Grab some of that lighter color and we're going to add that to the right side to brighten up this bunny's face a little bit, and then we'll blend all these colors out. And I'm just color picking colors that are blended out here just to blend it even further. You can do that. You can just keep going around the 3 different colors that are in the color palette, but I think this gives it a lot more of a blended approach and look. And I'm going to add a little bit more blue. I think it got a little bit faded there, so I'm going to add a little bit more to the left. And I'm doing very soft touches here with my Apple Pencil. Again, this is a pressure sensitive brush, and so I'm just doing very light touches to blend it out very softly. Now we're going to grab that circle brush and we're going to do the ears here as well. Make sure that your layer is not on alpha lock anymore so that you can draw those ears in, but we'll do it on that same layer as the head. Now that it is filled in, let's go ahead and alpha lock that layer again, and we'll add some details to the ears. I'm going to use these purple, red, and that brighter red color for the details here within the ears and also on the face. So start with that purple color, add the shadows. That's going to be the shadow on the left side here of the ear, and we'll just blend it out, add some of that red center to the ear, and we'll blend these areas out. And I just picked up that purple color again, and I'm just blending a little bit so it's not quite as harsh of a line between that red and that purple. So just very lightly doing that. I'm going to do a little bit with this white as well on the right side. And once it's blended to where I like it, we can move on to adding details to the face of the bunny. I am going to add the outline of the helmet here first, so I'm just doing it as a new layer on top using that circle blend brush and just lightly sketching around the circle here of the helmet. I'm just doing some rough sketches. I'm not making this look too perfect. I kind of want to be a little bit more rough, so that's why it's looking rougher here around the edge. And then I do want it to look like it is shiny, so I'm just adding some lines here to show the reflection. And then we'll add in the face details here. I'm using the dark blue color for the eyes, and then I'm going to use a brighter red for the cheeks, like they're flush cheeks. And then I added just a few white spots on the eyes just to make them look like they're reflecting the light back. And then once we complete the nose, we'll move on to the net. And I'm using that dark reddish brown color for the net here using the circle brush. I'm just going to start filling in the handle there and the rim of the net. And I did bring that layer below the donuts because I want that donut to look like it's floating into the net. And then create a new layer that below the handle and the rim of the net, and we're going to add the actual net part. Just go ahead and draw some of these lines. It doesn't have to be perfect for this section. I'm just drawing some grid lines here to make it look like a net. I'll go over the lines a few times just to make them to the thickness that I like, but you can make them as thin or thick as you want for that net. Then let's go ahead and alpha lock. We're going to add some highlights to this rim. I'm using that slightly yellowy orange color, and I'm just going to use a circle blend brush to add some highlights and some definition to this. And now we'll add some definition to the net as well, so make sure you alpha lock that layer. We're going to select a slightly darker gray color, not too dark. I still want this to be pretty bright, and we're just going to add some dark areas here and there on this net. And now our bunny is complete. Thank you all for sketching with me today. I hope you had a lot of fun with this like I did. You can like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want more videos. This is Patreon exclusive, so you're probably already following me. So thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.